Hello everybody, welcome to Shinichi's World. I'm Shinichi, welcome to my world. Today I want to talk about the story of when I first came out to a friend. So I thought maybe I'd tell you a little bit about my experience with coming out to friends. Back when I was 15, 16 years old, I still didn't know my sexuality. I didn't know whether I was gay or not. We didn't have the internet back then, so it wasn't as easy to find information about that, and we didn't really talk about it at school either. You heard people, the kids, your age talk about it, but usually in a negative manner. So when I was 17, I was working for this sushi place. It was a takeout sushi place. I'm not gonna name the place. I met a guy who I worked with at the sushi place, and he was a gay man, and he used to take me home with his car after we finished our shift. He asked me if I ever kissed a guy, and I said no. He ended up kissing me, and then he ended up becoming my first ever boyfriend. He actually asked me if I wanted to go steady with him. Yeah, remember that? Going steady with each other? That was a term that was used when I was 17. I liked him okay, so I said yeah, and we became steady. But there was one thing that struck me as not odd, but made me feel uncomfortable, and that was the fact that he was closeted and he was keeping his sexuality a secret, and he told me that I have to do the same. He told me that what we're doing and what we are is not accepted in society, and that it is something to be embarrassed about. He also told me that if I told people the truth, that I will have no friends left. Guess I believed him at first, but as time went on, I started to feel really uneasy about this whole thing. I mean, here I was having feelings for a man and having sex with a man, but assuming that it was a bad thing and it was something that I should be shamed about. I didn't feel good about that. I didn't feel good about doing something that was supposed to be bad. I was one of those people that I just couldn't let it go. I couldn't live like that. I just couldn't. So I decided to tell the truth to one of my girlfriends. Girlfriends, not girlfriends, but a girlfriend. One day, I told her that I had something to tell her, and it was important. So she agreed to meet me after work. Yeah, it took me about an hour to finally tell her that I like men. I actually didn't use the word gay. I actually said something like, I don't want to be with a woman, but I want to be with a man. Something like that. And it took me 1 hour, like I said. It took me a lot of effort, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done until that point, of course. And the funny thing is that as soon as I blurted it out, she was dumbfounded. She was surprised that I was having such a difficult time telling her that. And she asked me why it was so hard for me to tell her, and I told her that I was afraid that she wasn't going to like me anymore, and she was not going to be my friend anymore if I told her the truth, because that was what my boyfriend told me. And she said, that's ridiculous. And she simply said, I like you for who you are, not because you're gay or you're straight, but I like you because I like you. And she continued on. She said something that made a lot of sense to me and really helped me a big deal. But what she said was, If you tell a friend that you're gay and that person decides not to be a friend, then that's not really a friend. And that made a lot of sense to me. She said, if someone doesn't want to be my friend because I'm gay, I don't need friends like that because you're not really friends. And so that made a lot of sense to me. And that made me feel so much better. It opened my eyes. Suddenly, it was clear. It was clear, and my goal, at least for the short term, was to tell everyone I knew that I was gay. I started off with my friends, and I did end up telling every single one of my friends, and my real friends actually stayed, you know? And those that weren't my real friends, and they actually cared that if you were gay, they didn't want to be your friend, well, it was clear that they weren't my friends, and it made life so much easier. I finally knew who my real friends were, because I really wanted to feel completely free. I wanted to be free of any guilt or bad feelings. I wanted to live life. I wanted to move forward as a happy person. The hardest part of the whole thing was actually coming out, actually doing it. That was the hardest part. It took me so long, and I felt like I was going through hell. But once I actually came out to the first person and the next person and the next person, I felt so much better. I felt lighter. I felt freer. And I never regretted telling my friends that I was gay, because they finally knew who I was. They finally knew why I never talked about girls. They finally understood why I never had a girlfriend. They finally understood who I truly was, and they liked me for who I really was. I just already know that some people who watch this video are gonna comment something bad, I'm used to it. I've been gay all my life, and I'm used to it. Well, I have a name. My name is Shinichi, and I am so much more than just a gay man. And I'm proud of myself for coming out to my friends and family, and I have no regrets, because that's the only reason why I get to share my life with those closest to me. But I know it's hard, and I know that there are a lot of people out there that are still afraid of coming out to your friends and family. And I get it. I totally get it. And I'm not here to tell you that you should come out, because that's not my place. And I think everyone has to do this on their own terms. And whether or not you're gonna come out to your friends and family, that's your decision to make. It's not what people should be telling you to do. I mean, I don't have a right to tell people what to do. I think as long as you're happy, that is the main thing. Make sure that you're happy. And if you're not happy, you do have the power to change things. You can't change everything. You can't change people's opinions or people's reactions. You cannot do that. You cannot expect that from people. And the only thing you have control over is what you yourself do and how you react and how you live your life. That's the only thing we're in control of. I think RuPaul said it best, and I'm pretty sure you guys all know RuPaul. RuPaul said that the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. And I totally get that. RuPaul's like super smart. Total respect for you, RuPaul.